Hey there! Today we're gonna unbox something small, intriguing, and very mighty. Let's get into it. In our unboxing today, we're gonna find out what's included in the basic package of the FX30. What do we have here? Get a cable, USB-C to USB, standard operating procedure, the manual. I'm a big fan of good packaging. Companies have spent time putting together a good package. A very basic FX30 package. What we get is what? The camera body, a USB to USB-C cable with a charging back for USB and single battery, original Sony batteries. When I can, I try and get the original batteries. I get a longer life, and also on the camera, it lasts longer than the generic ones, which you have to keep swapping. We have the FX3 and the 24-70. We're gonna do a comparison of the FX3 with a 24-70, FX30 with an 18-50. As you can see, still in the box. Just gonna be unboxing this one. Let's see what we have in this package. See what we have here. We have the Sigma 18-50. We're gonna put this on the FX30. Take the 24-70 and put that in the FX3. But first, let's just look at the size of the cameras. They both look identical in size, height, and weight slightly. I'm not measuring it, so don't hold me to that. Let's look at putting the lenses together on the cameras, just to look at the form factor. Let's see the size, scale, and how it stacks between one to the other. One thing I'll do, and we don't advise this, is exposing the sensor, because you end up getting specks or dust. But looking at it, you can tell sensors one is bigger than the other. Put a lens on it. I think that's enough time exposing the sensor. Lens changing, try to do that in a clean surface, clean space. Piece of advice to the newbies, please always walk around with a lens cloth when you're shooting outside. Don't use your t-shirt or your jacket. You can tell, two different sizes. This stacks a little bit more weight than this. If you're running and gunning, this is a little bit smaller, so you don't need to use, you can run longer with this. Other than the lenses, adds a little bit more weight. The cameras are light. Let's start with some comparisons. On the outside, very similar layout. The FX3 is slightly bigger and barely noticeable than the FX30. But when you just look at them side by side, close in size. Both of these cameras are both cinema-centric cameras. If you're looking for something more hybrid, I would recommend looking at the Sony Alpha series. Both cameras have two card slots, accepting UHS 2 SD cards and CF Express Type A. On the connection side, you have 4 connections. You can get a mic, headphones, USB-C, and a multi. So one thing that these cameras have the capability to do is you can connect it directly to your laptop and you will read it as a camera connection. That's a huge plus for Zoom recordings or any recording that you require your laptop to work with. The reason why I bring that up, in the previous versions or in the other bigger cameras, SDI or HDMI, you have to convert it. So it's an OBS system that you have to use. We use a CamLink. They're more out in the market that you use to connect to the camera. And the last part is the multi-connection. You can use it for timecode, tentacle sync, or any other timecode boxes. Or you can use it as a start and stop if you have that option with your connectors. Let's talk about the cameras themselves. They both can shoot 4K at 120 frames per second, 4K 16-bit RAW output to any external recorder. Some of the features that we have: lightning fast autofocus with real-time eye and real-time tracking, amazing low light and vivid color. One additional piece that you can add with the kit is the audio hand unit. The unit has powerful preamps and high quality audio recording. If you're running this as a run and gun and need sound going into the camera, or in any case that you know you need sound to come to the camera. So you get two options. You can use this unit or something little DJI just came out with, which I love, is for the run and gun, I can be able to adjust this and just put it on the camera. And with this system, I can be able to run the tiny mics that they make on this, put it on a gimbal, run and gun, and I'm completely wireless, so no cable run back here. Let me put some lenses on these cameras. FX30, compact, very small. So the type of lens that you put on it definitely makes a difference. What do you get? Same size, different sensor, 3700, 2000. Now, lensing is a little bit different when you look at both. Price point changes depending on what lenses you end up putting on the cameras. An FX30 is a Super 35 sensor. You will see in marketing material or even just different websites, APS-C Super 35, which is a smaller sensor than a full frame sensor. Super 35 is about 1.5 to 1.6 crop for the image in comparison to the full frame. When using the IBIS on the cameras or the 4K 120 frames per second, the FX30 crops in a little bit more on the real estate. How do you navigate the difference in lensing and cameras between the full frame and the APS-C or the Super 35? In this case, what we looked at is getting lenses that actually fit for the sensor. To pair with the FX3, we went with the 24-70, which is a Sony lens, 2.8. To pair with the FX30, we went with the Sigma, which is an 18-50, 2.8. Reason why I bring up the 2.8, you get more light in, you're able to open up more shallow depth of field compared to an f4. One more thing to note is both these cameras with the latest firmware can be monitored, controlled, record, and set in a multicam workflow right from your phone or tablet using the Creators app. Why did we pick the FX30? Recently, we opened a space for creators with podcast recording, post-production, and audio mixing and mastering in mind. We're using the space for podcasting. When you have a video podcast, you want cameras to match to make it easy. We had the FX3. Looking at smaller form factor within a small space or a space that you can be able to fit multiple cameras, we went with the FX30. Other cameras that we looked at were the Sony ZV-E, the 10 Mark II, same sensor and quality, but lacked the pro features we needed. If you're just starting with content creation, we would recommend looking into one. A few use cases for this camera are travel blogs, event coverage, or even just starting out on your career. This can be a good camera to actually start working with. Let us know below in the comments if you prefer Super 35 or full frame. Thanks for watching and happy filming.